Pain burned through my chest like molten fire. I coughed, choking on my own blood, the world blurring around me. I had no hope left. My mission had failed. My allies were gone, and I was stranded on this hostile alien world. The sky was a toxic green, with jagged mountains casting dark shadows over the barren plains. Every instinct screamed at me to surrender, to let the darkness claim me. But even as my vision dimmed, I sensed a presence approaching, something colossal. Something that made the ground tremble with every step. Its aura shimmered with an otherworldly light, and even before I saw it fully, I knew it was no ordinary being. A deep, resonant hum filled the air, vibrating through my bones. My survival seemed impossible. Yet my heart raced with a mix of terror and awe at what, or who, was coming. The figure emerged from the shadows. Towering, regal, with limbs like obsidian and eyes glowing a violet hue that pierced through the gloom. It was the alien queen. Her body was covered in iridescent scales, shifting colors as if reflecting the universe itself. Long, flowing tendrils floated around her head like a living crown, moving independently as if sensing my fear. She knelt before me, not with malice, but with curiosity. "You cannot die," she said, her voice echoing in my mind rather than through the air. My lips trembled as I tried to speak, but no words came out. I realized she wasn't human, or anything remotely familiar. The energy radiating from her seemed alive. I understood. She had chosen me, and my fate was no longer my own. Survival was now an offer, not a guarantee. I struggled to stand, weak and trembling, but she extended one massive hand toward me. The moment our contact was made, the pain vanished. My injuries healed faster than they could have naturally. My lungs no longer burned with the acidic air of this planet. I gasped, marveling at the impossible sensation. Why are you saving me?" I asked, bewildered. Her gaze was unyielding, cold yet strangely compassionate. "Because you belong to me," she said simply. The words struck like a thunderbolt. I had heard of alien conquerors and overlords, but never a being who could decide a human's life with such absolute authority. And yet, despite the danger, a peculiar sense of safety settled over me. The idea of dying here no longer existed. My survival, my very existence, was now tied to her whims. Fear mingled with awe, creating a strange cocktail of emotions I couldn't name. She rose to her full height, each movement fluid and mesmerizing, like water flowing over rocks. Her tendrils traced patterns in the air, leaving trails of luminescence that shifted and shimmered like stars. Around us, the environment seemed to react, rocks vibrating softly, the sky darkening as if acknowledging her power. I realized then that this world itself bent to her will. My curiosity overcame my fear. "Who are you?" I whispered. She regarded me silently, then slowly replied, "I am the queen of this world, and now you are under my protection." Her words carried a weight that was impossible to resist. Suddenly, the landscape no longer seemed hostile, it was merely indifferent to all except her. My understanding deepened. She was not here to destroy or conquer, she was here to claim. And I had been chosen, whether I wanted it or not. Days passed, though time felt distorted in her presence. I learned that she communicated not just through words, but through emotions and images that streamed directly into my consciousness. Memories of her world, ancient and vast, unfolded before me. Cities built on floating islands, oceans that glowed under multiple suns, forests alive with creatures that defied imagination. I saw battles and alliances spanning millennia, and I understood that the Queen's domain was far older than humanity itself. Each revelation left me both awestruck and terrified. I realized how fragile my life had been, how insignificant my struggles on Earth seemed compared to the cosmic order she upheld. And yet, within that enormity, she had chosen me. Her selection was not random, it was deliberate. A bond was forming, subtle yet undeniable, and with it, a responsibility I could scarcely comprehend. I was no longer just a survivor, I was part of something far greater. One night, under twin moons, she approached me while I slept. I awoke to her luminous form hovering above, tendrils casting soft light across my resting body. She spoke gently, but her words resonated like a drum in my chest. "You fear me," she said. I nodded, unsure how to explain the mixture of terror and fascination swirling inside me. "Good," she replied. "Fear keeps you alive. But do not mistake it for hatred. You must learn to trust me." Her hand reached out again, and this time, instead of pain or healing, it carried visions of battles I would face, of the enemies who would hunt me now that I belonged to her, of powers I did not yet understand. I shivered as the knowledge sank in. My life was no longer mine. But paradoxically, in surrendering to her, I felt the first real hope I had experienced since arriving on this hostile planet. The Queen guided me through the alien terrain, teaching me to move and survive with her protection. Under her gaze, I became more than human. I could sense the subtle shifts in energy around me, anticipate danger before it arrived, and even feel the heartbeat of this world itself. I began to understand her language of intent, her silent commands that bent matter and spirit alike. And yet, no matter how much I learned, I remained painfully aware of the gap between us. She was eternal, omnipotent, and beyond comprehension. I was fleeting, fragile, and far too human. Still, she did not abandon me. Every time I faltered, she corrected me with a gentle hand, a flicker of energy, or a wordless command. Slowly, I realized the truth. The Queen did not merely protect me because she could. She protected me because she had chosen my survival as part of her will. After the battle, I found myself kneeling beside her in a quiet canyon, the light of distant suns casting fractured rainbows across the jagged rock. I dared to speak, my voice barely audible. "Why me?" She studied me, her violet eyes glowing softly. "Because the universe is full of chaos," she said. "And you are the balance it requires." The words didn't make sense at first, but deep inside, I felt the truth. I was chosen not for my strength, but for my potential, for the tiny spark that could grow under her guidance. And even though fear still gripped me, a sense of purpose began to take root. I was no longer a lost human stranded on a hostile world. I was the Queen's charge, her claim, and her responsibility. And in that claim, I found a strange, terrifying peace. Time became irrelevant. I trained, learned, and grew under her watchful presence, becoming a bridge between humanity and the alien realm she ruled. I realized that my life, once fragile and fleeting, had been reborn. Every fear, every scar, every moment of doubt had led me here, to exist under her protection, to be claimed, and to witness a universe beyond imagination. And yet, one truth remained: the Queen did not save me out of mercy. She saved me because she could, and because she had decided that I belonged to her. In the cold vastness of space and the ruthless expanse of her world, I was alive, unbroken, and utterly hers. And as her glow enveloped me, I understood the terrifying majesty of her words. "You cannot die."